thanks for downloading the episode today on the show. Due to technical difficulties, producer Dub sits in to record an episode. We recap our 21-year anniversary, our trip to the fancy Ritz-Carlton, and a few pet peeves, and an ugly and awkward moment of the week. And a ugly and awkward moment of the week. Thanks for shopping liveandclip.com. Enjoy the show.
It's another uncensored look at the world around you, from sisters who will say just about anything to anyone at any time. It's the Uggs. Jamie.
But it tasted really good. I just had to close my eyes.
And filling in for Paula, producer Dub.
Who's got Alzheimer's now, woman?
Uncensored as always, it's time for the ugly truth.
Welcome to the Ugly Truth. This is episode 294. I think take two or take three, depending on how you do it.
Ugh.
Yes, so thanks, Paula, my sister who podcasts with me.
Hey, you got it in.
I did. Well, actually, the responsibility has been given to Paula.
Yes, I know.
And it works, actually, because when I do it, I make a joke of it because I'm uncomfortable with change. But she also deleted her entire file right when we concluded recording that show, and it was a good one too.
Of course,
and so I'm super bummed about it, but that's okay.
It happens.
It happens.
First time in 293 episodes.
Yes, and honestly, I thought I would be the one to delete a file because I'm so quick to do stuff on the computer that, I'm like Swift, and so I was a little surprised that she was the one that pulled the trigger on the deletion of files, but we had some time, and because most of that episode was a recap of us, I figured we might as well make this maybe the one-time only anniversary episode. I don't know.
So when we have our 50th, I can't be on the show?
I don't even know what we'll be doing in 50 years, but
driving cars that fly.
25 years,
right.
20 something, 30 years, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, so welcome to the Ugly Truth special anniversary episode because Paula deleted her file.
Right.
So welcome to that.
Sorry about that.
Normally Sisters Who Podcast, but today it's going to be producer and host Who Podcast.
Spouses Who Podcast.
Spouses Who Podcast. Not as good as some that are out there, but probably comparable.
Agree to disagree.
Well, he has a board and plays a lot of really funny stuff. We don't have a board.
Sounds very radio-ish.
It is kind of. It's good. Yeah. And they have guests, too.
Sure.
So that's
Wait, we're talking about Segura, right?
Yes, we're talking about Your Mom's House, which is one of my most favorite podcasts. Anyway, so welcome to The Truth. First of all, we live in Northern California.
Yes.
It looks like the inside of a smoker's lung.
It's ew.
We are surrounded by smoke. The sky has turned black with the red sun. Mm-hmm. It is apocalyptic outside, and we are surrounded by fires that are killing people and destroying things once again. I'm so distraught by it.
Yeah.
That car fire is no joke.
Yeah, that is extreme Northern California, but obviously it's affecting the whole state, and I'd much rather be in a smoky area than a flame area, of course.
Well, that is true. That is true.
It's pretty miserable. There's about a dozen wildfires burning in California right now. It's really, really bad and unfortunate. But climate change is fake, by the way.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, so with that being said, we're indoors trying to stay clear of the coughing that was harassing me a couple weeks ago. No more coughs. So anyway, we have been married. Coming up this week, it'll be 21 years.
Yeah, our trip and all of our posts was a little early, but our actual anniversary is later this week.
August 2nd.
Good. So proud of you.
Never remember. I always say the 3rd. Because that's when the honeymoon started.
Right, exactly.
The 2nd was the actual nuptials.
Yes.
So
21.
21 years. What is the gift? You know how they do those traditional things? Did you look it up? What's 21 years?
I just did.
What is it?
Brass and nickel.
So I get a. Oh, I told you that I was going to give you a high five on our actual anniversary.
Yes.
That's 5. That's a nickel.
Oh,
is that it?
See, that works.
Okay, don't give me a nickel.
I'm going to give you a tuba. They're made of brass, right?
You know what? You gave me a lovely ring earlier this year.
Yeah, that's
and that,
true.
I believe, was made out of brass.
Yes.
So we'll just count that as the gift.
Well, I think that we gifted each other a couple of big trips, so that was super fun.
The New York Whirlwind Tour.
Yes.
And then 5 days later, we leave to take our precious child to cheer camp in Santa Cruz, and then made another hour trip to Half Moon Bay.
Yes. That was the one that had actually been planned. The New York one had not been planned.
And we were just basically killing two birds with one stone because we were so close. We're like, hey, let's just do it. You know, why not? That was before you invited me to go to New York with you. Right. So I, of course, wanted to not go.
Right.
Of
you
course.
Didn't.
I was like, do we really have to do it? And you're like...
It was paid for, though.
Yeah, and I'm like, all right, fine. I'm tired. I will go, but I'm tired. You're like, no, we'll just relax. We'll just relax. We won't do anything. We'll just go, and we'll just lay around like broccoli. And I'm like, awesome. Except that we still had to drive 4 hours to get there, and that's exhausting. And the one thing is, we stayed at the Ritz. Ritz Half Moon Bay, which is super fancy. It is really fancy. And we show up. I look like shit. I was in slides, shorts, and a tank top. My hair was beyond messy bun because with the windows rolled down. I even had mascara like under my eyes. So we get out of there. And the thing is, you go, oh, it's just a hotel. Who cares, right? Mm-hmm. They open the door for you. They know who you are when you pull up. Mr. and Mrs. Minor, welcome. Happy anniversary. And you're like, I'm absolutely embarrassed by my appearance. I'm sure they've seen worse. However, you're surrounded by Maseratis and fancy Rolls Royces and Porsche, and you get out of the car, you're like, hello. So I get out.
How glad was I that I had washed and cleaned our car inside and out like a few days before.
For real. And we don't have a super high-end car per se, but they're nice. They're just nice. Sedan, whatever.
We didn't pull up in the Clark Griswold station wagon.
No, we did not, luckily. But they ignore what you look like.
You know, it's funny you say that because I don't know if you noticed as we were leaving, but there was a guy, they were checking out, and his wife had the money, so he couldn't tip, and it was bothering him, right? And so he went and found, but I looked at his shirt, and he's total kind of a rocker guy, had a hat on, big dude, and his shirt said, don't be a, and then it had a rooster and a lollipop.
A cocksucker?
Yeah.
Wow, that's classy.
Right. Like, I'm thinking, like, well, I guess when you're the Ritz, maybe you're a rock star. Maybe you can get away with that. Yeah. So anyway, but all kinds.
I don't care about anyone else. I only care about my personal appearance.
I understand.
And so it was funny when we were checking in. Anya, I think was her name.
Yes.
And she was
Look at you remembering names.
Well, because there were 3 specific people that I really enjoyed interacting with at the place.
Sure. And they have name tags, so.
Well, yeah, but I don't remember names. You know me. And so, but she was so great. And then at the end, she recognizes my presence and she said, oh, is this Mrs. Minor? Can I add you to everything? And in my mind, because I'm already kind of embarrassed that I look disheveled from a long trip, in my mind, I'm like, well, this weekend I'm Mrs. Minor.
Oh, God.
But I didn't say it. And I just said, yes, I am.
Well, what was funny is 86 seconds before she had said happy anniversary. It clearly says 21st anniversary.
Hey, it could be a long-term love affair. She doesn't know.
I suppose.
It could be anything.
I suppose.
So they don't make assumptions. Good hospitality make 0 assumptions about who is in front of you. I could have been your daughter for all they know.
Yeah.
I don't think so, though. That was pretty clear.
That was pretty,
You're not that old looking.
Also, yeah, thanks. Also at check-in, I did not ask for pillowcases.
Well, I don't think you need to tell everybody about that. But anyway,
inside joke.
We have a weird fetish about pillowcases. So, but you don't. That's after 20 years of marriage. You don't need to know what that's about.
Right.
Anyway, so the room was amazing. It was beautiful. And because we aren't fancy, you immediately go to shut the curtains and not realizing they're all electronic. And so you almost break them instantly when we walk in. You're like, why won't these open? They're stuck together. And you're standing on furniture trying to unpin them. And then finally you use your brute strength and all of a sudden we hear this whee.
I was like, oh, look, right by the bed, there's buttons for all of these things.
Oh, it's like the Aria. Everything is electronic here. You just press a button and everything opens for you.
Oops.
How unsophisticated are we? It was just one thing after the other.
We try. Yeah. We do try.
We do try.
We give it the full effort, but
we fake it real good in public, but not. Well, I make sure that I let everyone know we're faking it. That's my thing. So we'll talk about that.
Which kind of defeats the point of faking it if you're going to tell everybody you're faking it.
My ugly and awkward moment will be up, and of course, you guys. I mean, you can't take me anywhere nice.
Yeah.
So we really didn't have anything to do. We really didn't have anything on the docket. And
right. The intent was to, quote unquote, relax and enjoy the
truly
resort.
Relax.
And we're not used to that.
A couple of things, though, that I'm struggling with personally with this whole new trying to relax thing. I'm good with it. Mm-hmm. I can literally lay around like a vegetable and not do anything. And I don't mean people vegetable. I mean actual vegetation. So don't be offended, vegetable listeners.
Vegetable listeners?
Well, we might have some people that listen in a coma. We don't know. We don't know their lives. So the problem is that I was really sick a few weeks ago, which I've talked about, and my alcohol intake has reduced to practically zero.
Yeah.
There was a time when you and I'd be like, bust it out, let's get hammered. And I just don't have that desire anymore. So we're sitting in this lovely little patio that has a fire pit. We have an ocean view. We're watching horrible golfers trying to golf because it's in front of one of the last tees of the golf course that's on the property. And unbeknownst to me, apparently you were telling me, because you were trying to convince me that golf is something I want to be interested in, which is not, didn't work, by the way.
I was testing the waters.
This was one of the most difficult holes in Northern California, correct?
Right. Yeah.
And because of all of the distractions.
Well, just not so much the distractions, but just the way it's laid out, and
yes.
And wind from the ocean, and
it was very windy, and chilly, which was nice.
It's one of the harder like public holes, like non-pro courses.
Right. So you did bust out a bottle of wine because we didn't really have anything going on, and so as we're sitting there sipping, realizing that I'm starting to feel real good. I'm like, oh yeah, this is what it feels like to drink wine. I forgot. Suddenly, out of nowhere, we become a commentating duo and heckling these golfers.
That was funny.
And we're sitting there, and I said, because I don't know anything about golf, I mean, I've watched Tiger Woods and I see the pros play, but I know what a swing looks like. And I know that these people aren't doing it right.
Right, because you've been watching golf with me on TV.
Well, I like Tiger Woods. I'm really gunning for him to get a win. I want him to succeed again because it's been years, and I'm ready for him to come and bring joy to the golfing masses because everybody wants him to win. I think everybody's pulling for him.
For sure.
So anyway, so whenever he plays, I watch. So, but because of that, we see these people, and they've got all the gear. They've got the fancy clubs. They've got the fancy hat. They've got the fancy clothes. And they are swinging horribly, probably the way I would.
Right.
A lot of shanks, a lot of divots.
Well, and a lot of them are just old dudes who just don't have that range of motion anymore.
And what's funny, so I'm watching it and I go, that wasn't a good swing, right? That looked pretty tight. He pulled in at the last minute, right? You're like, yes, Jamie, that's exactly what he did. That's why he shanked it. That's a divot. And that divot, and if he's a good what's the word? If he's conscientious, if he knows the rules of golf,
it's golf
etiquette. That's I couldn't remember the word. I told you I'm catching Alzheimer's.
You're catching Alzheimer's.
He's like
it's an airborne disease.
Watch how he goes. He picks up the divot and he replaces it. And if he doesn't, and you explain to me the sand and the seeds and all that stuff in the thing, and I'm like, all right,
I told
fine.
you I was testing the water.
So ultimately, we're drunk and we're laughing at golfers. And at some point, you got a little paranoid. You're like, oh my God, I think they can hear us. And I'm like, so what?
We were pretty close.
I'm like, they suck. It's like, and what do I know? I'm the worst. That was hilarious. And then we had plans to go to a nice little restaurant in town. And what ends up happening?
Nope.
We went to a brew pub and had fried food.
We had reservations at one of the nicer Italian joints in Half Moon Bay.
Drank several options of beer, and before we knew it, we were back at the hotel asleep by 8:00. Woohoo! And we did not move for like 10 hours. You woke up and you stared at me, you're like, I haven't slept 10 hours since I was a child. I'm so rested.
Living our best life.
I'm so rested. And I said, oh, well, I mean, that's a Sunday for me. But yes, I understand. Yes, that was absolutely a long, restful sleep.
Yeah, I just don't do that.
No. And so what really sucked about the whole thing was I started my period the day we got there. So as I was explaining to Paula on the deleted show,
yes,
the show that will never be heard.
Well, I'll keep your file, and then we can all listen to one side of the conversation.
Oh, yeah. How exciting would that be?
We'll just fill in the dots.
That sounds great.
We'll just put in a lot of Paula going, yeah? Yeah?
Yeah.
Wow.
No.
Yeah.
No. So the thing with
the lost episode.
The thing with married sex or just really good relationships, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever your preference is, I don't know if we're alone, but hotel sex is very sexy and hot.
Yes.
thought that everybody felt that way. Paula's like...
Wait. So you had this conversation?
Yes.
Okay.
And Paula was like, it's been so long since I've been alone in a hotel room with another person without children.
Right.
I don't know if that's true or not.
Right.
And I said, well, I mean, for me, it's true. I think we legitimately look forward to the fact that we're going to be alone in a hotel room because you can literally desecrate every corner. I mean, when they turn on black lights in hotel rooms, there's a reason why it's so disturbing.
Right.
Because people go, hey, look. And like when we were laying in bed and we looked up and we saw like notches and marks on the ceiling, like dents in the ceiling. I said, Kev, you can't even imagine what has happened in this hotel room. They've probably had to repaint. I mean, seriously, I don't care.
And this is the Ritz.
Well, I mean, and the thing is, if you look around, minus the international, although that may not matter, humans are human.
Right.
There's a lot of very Caucasian people wandering around that hotel. I have a hard time believing that they're having the kind of sex that we have, but you never know.
You never know.
So with that being said, we got one good hotel sex romp in, and then I started my period.
Yeah. I know.
And it sucked.
It did.
Then I felt like we're an old couple now.
We made the most of it.
Although I did say, it's like, well, I guess it's hand jobs and anal for the rest of the weekend.
Yeah.
Which that didn't happen
either.
No, it did not.
No, it did not.
So anyway, with that, we went to... So the heckling was hilarious.
Yes.
But then karma bit us in the ass. We decided to go on a walk to the ocean. And it was beautiful.
Oh. It's right there.
There was a little sea lion. We took photos of everything because, you want to literally record every event, which is fine. It's not me, but it's you. Mm-hmm. All the selfies to me were horrible. I thought I looked like shit because my hair...
I didn't post any selfies. You did.
That was the best of the bunch.
Okay, well, I know better. I posted food and landscape photos.
I know.
Because I'm not allowed.
You're not.
Without approval.
Well, the thing is that you look at photos and you remember the memory, and you're not looking at the fact that maybe my chin is missing, or that I have a weird look on my face.
Yeah. So
you
said, and this happened in both New York and Half Moon Bay, is that I can take pictures.
You can do whatever you want.
I just can't post anything, which is awesome. That's fine for me.
Yeah, because I just think social media, personally, I think Facebook and Instagram compels people to post everything, and it's not necessary.
I get it.
There was a time when people would bust out their photo albums or slideshows and show their people, show family and friends their experiences, and you know how long people are interested in that? About 3 minutes.
Yeah,
and then they're like, when can I get a cocktail?
Social media has replaced that.
Exactly, because now you can just ignore it.
Yeah, and you say it as a bad thing. I say it as I like posting a couple of photos so that when it comes up and it says, here was your memory 8 years ago. I like that. But I get it. But I do like some of the more intricate, like, we'll see a picture and somebody else might go, oh, that's cool. That's pretty. Oh, they stayed there. We'll go, oh, remember that bottle of wine was awesome. Or we did that. Or, remember how we were so glad that we had no neighbors, in the fire pit room and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So anyway.
This is one of those things that we just don't agree on. And it's kind of bummer, but that's okay. It is what it is.
But I don't need to share all levels of our life.
No,
I'm just saying that I like when we have fun memories.
I know. I have fun memories too.
Okay.
Maybe it's because I don't forget things and you tend to forget
shit
things.
all the time.
Exactly. I think that's why.
Who's got Alzheimer's now, woman?
I don't know. Maybe you do.
Maybe.
No, I do. I definitely do.
But you're catching it.
I'm catching it. Well, actually, it's either that or lung cancer. I mean, you take your pick. It's both.
Right. Probably.
I'm sickly.
Yeah.
Because I'm old.
Whatever.
I'm tired. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so we go to the ocean and it's beautiful and, we're enjoying each other's company and it's great. And unbeknownst to us, we get incredibly sunburned. Daryl looks like a radish. I look like a jack-o'-lantern because I have a perfectly triangular nose sunburn. I think it's what we deserve for heckling all of those people.
Right. Payback.
For making fun of their golf. Although, that didn't really stop us. We continued with that throughout the weekend.
Yeah, there was one that was really funny, though. We had kind of stopped heckling. Mm-hmm. And I think you were getting ready. We were going to go out or something. And I was sitting in the room, but the door was open.
Yes.
So I could still see the golfers, but I was in the room, not on the little patio area. And all I heard is this. Whoosh. Fuck! Fuck! like twice.
That's hilarious.
I'm cracking up. I was like, that's my boy. That's a golfer right there. None of this old person. That's a peach, hon. None of that stuff.
We did see a couple of that. That was so funny. We saw that older couple. Yeah. They were not good.
It was that. I think it was one of the first ones we saw because there was a caddy. So he was kind of running around bringing their clubs because you can use a caddy. And I'm like, that's a peach, hon. Yeah, just like
Caddyshack. It was like Caddyshack. That was a funny one too. Anyway.
It was a great room and great view, and we just got to, they gave us some entertainment that wasn't television, which we hardly turned on at all.
No, we didn't. We were resting.
Despite the lack of sexual activity, we did not turn the TV on much.
How disappointing. It's not all men, guys. Just saying.
Actually,
women have needs.
Right. Well, in New York, too, so that was nice. So hotel there. But
it was nice.
It was nice.
So, conclusion, it was great. We had a wonderful dinner. Really, the service was unbelievable.
Oh, yeah, the second night.
It kind of segues into our ugly and awkward moment, but I don't want to do it quite yet because I wanted to talk a little bit more about some stuff. The guy that delivered our breakfast, because we had room service the next morning after we had arrived. It was really nice. Enrico came in, and the thing is that I like just genuine people. I don't like as nice as Anya was. She was doing what she has to do. Yeah, it's very rehearsed and hello, Mr. and Mrs. Minor. We're so and everyone makes you feel a VIP, and they're really good at being genuine. Yeah. But sometimes people are really genuine, and Enrico was. Yeah. He came in and he was super nice, and then ultimately, me, because I just can't shut up. I'm just like, so Enrico, how are you? What's going on with your world? And now we learned that he has a brother that literally lives in the town next to us. Yeah. And then we talked about the weather, and it was just, everything was so great. And he was so friendly, and he was extra nice to us. He brought us back more food. He's like, try these pastries, you guys. You might really like them.
Yeah, he actually brought them back.
Yeah, he came back. It was so nice.
He brought us some farm-to-glass juice.
Some juices and some pastries that we didn't ask for. It was so sweet. And I just really very much enjoyed Enrico.
Yeah, we appreciate that kind of thing.
But I am more comfortable at that level. I'm not comfortable around, management. I'm more comfortable around the people that are doing the work, the real work. And he was so sweet. He's like, gratuities included. Don't even. He's like, don't tip me. And we're like, okay. Of course, Paula's like, you should have given him something anyway. I'm like, he wouldn't accept it. He wouldn't have accepted it. He just wouldn't have. But we'll reach out and make sure that he gets the kudos. But the service was amazing. And, every server that we encountered was so great.
Really good.
Yeah. So, I know it's fancy. We don't normally stay at the Ritz-Carlton.
Of course not.
But I'm glad we did it. And it was a great way to celebrate 21 years of marriage.
Marriage.
Do you think you've learned anything in 21 years about marriage, or just me?
Just you.
You haven't learned anything?
Well, I think execution is more important than knowledge.
Execution.
Yeah, not killing you.
So I'm like, what?
No.
I'm killing your soul.
Like it's one thing. It's one thing to know what to do. It's another to actually be able to pull it off. So.
I think getting to know someone outside of the sexual part is key.
Sure,
for example, for myself, I know myself pretty well. I know that I need solitude to regroup from a lot of activity. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So like
your comment yesterday. Why are you following me around like bodega?
Oh, God. It's true. See, this is why...
We were garbage people yesterday.
This is why I can't give you too much affection, because then you'll never leave me alone.
That's such a load of crap.
No, it's not. It is so not. That's why you're always hungry for affection. You're like, please, sir, may I have some more?
Anyway, is it time for ugly and awkward moments yet?
No, I want to know what you've learned about marriage. One thing I have learned about myself is I am not as tough as I thought I was. And I thought maybe it was just because I'm aging, but I really am not a hardy stock. When I get sick, I get really goddamn sick. There's no kind of fighting anything. I am ill. And it takes you, and this is the marriage part.
I was going to say,
it takes you a good 24 hours to kick into gear that it's time for you to be the caretaker. Women are way better at taking care of sick people in general, because it's, I think, our nature, because we have the children and stuff. But you do downshift into caretaker as far as, I know I'm a terrible patient. Like, I know I'm bad. I'm stubborn. I don't ever want to lay down. I don't want to eat or drink anything. You know, that's how old people die. They get in the hospital, they're like, well, she's very dehydrated and malnourished. She's had nothing. Yeah. Well, you try feeding her. She won't eat. That's you, and that's your mission.
Yeah, it happens.
And I have learned to allow it. And that's kind of marriage.
Allow it?
Don't squint your eyes at me.
You've learned to allow it?
I've allowed you to care for me.
Okay.
It is. It's true. And I'm learning very slowly to accept that the good times are not going to, like, the shoe's just not going to drop out from under me, and I'm going to be, you know.
Yeah, I would say that that's something that I've learned too, but I think for you especially, that's true.
Yes. And we haven't settled. Like, we don't, no. Neither one of us feels like we've settled. Like, this is still going good.
Yeah, I think so too.
Okay, good. Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
And thanks for the brass ring. Oh. Literally and figuratively.
The brass ring.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Right.
God, I wish I had known that before I bought you a card.
So no tuba?
No. And we're done celebrating it, right? Now, our actual anniversary.
Yeah.
Simple. We'll have a glass of champagne, maybe a cookie, a card,
a cookie,
and a high five.
A high five.
We're done celebrating our marriage. No one else wants to do it. It's just me and you. So let's just. This podcast is it. This is the end of it.
I'm not guaranteeing that.
Oh, damn it. Please don't make me go anywhere. Please don't make me go anywhere.
I'm not doing that.
I just don't.
We're not going anywhere. I didn't buy you anything.
Lie.
I didn't. Oh, well, I'm sure I will have a card in tow, but.
You better only have a card, damn it. Oh, now we do fight. Yes. You and I do fight.
Yeah.
It's usually about a pet peeve of mine, like you didn't put in the garbage bag after you dumped the garbage immediately. Mm-hmm. Things of that nature. Sure. Do you have any pet peeves? I know it's dangerous.
We don't have... First of all,
I know it's dangerous.
Would not let me see any outline, so I have no idea what we're going to talk about. I am not prepared. I would like... What do you call that in court?
You need to confer with your client.
I would need a continuance. I need a continuance.
You need to confer with your client.
You need to give me at least a 6-episode heads up if we're going to talk about your pet peeves and my pet peeves.
Pet peeves is not on here. Oh, okay. I was just thinking about it, and I thought, wouldn't that be funny if he was brave enough to say what his pet peeve is of mine? Like, there's got to be something I do that you're like, Urgh! There's got to be something that... I mean, we've been together for so long. We're like up there with Paul Newman and Joanne Woodward, man. I mean, we're up there.
Yeah.
We're like with Kevin Bacon and Kira Sedgwick level.
Yeah.
So you have no pet peeves? I'm perfect?
Sure.
You are... Nothing?
I just told you it's not happening. Continuance. It's not happening. We're not having a discussion about pet peeves.
But there's not one thing
that
irritates you.
No, it's a continuance. I'm not going on the record and saying that I have no pet peeves. I'm just not discussing them on this show.
It's that bad?
No, it's not that bad. I want to be very cautious about what I say.
Is it when I use your razor in the shower?
No, although I think I did notice that it was pretty dull when I went to use it today, and I'm like, I think you used this while we were on vacation. Change blade.
It was an accident.
It was because you didn't bring one?
No, I forgot.
Okay.
I forgot.
Well, I noticed, and it's fine.
Is the pet peeve that I can't remember our neighbor's name?
No, I find that funny.
Okay.
That's not a pet peeve.
All right. Well, I mean, I know how annoying I can be, and I don't want to continue. I'm not going to tick off all the things that I'm annoyed about myself to see. Is it hair in the drain?
No. That's dumb. There's nothing like that. It's nothing like that.
I leave my shoes out.
No, I don't. I'm not that trivial.
I can't find my glasses.
We could go on forever. You will not.
I'll never guess it.
It's not even about guessing. You will never get me to talk about it. Without further preparation.
I'm taking it to the grave. What's scary is that means there is something.
And it's not like you don't know though.
What is it? Is it a...
No, I'm not telling you.
All right. God damn it. Fine. Well, let's go ahead and do our ugly and awkward moments of the week. Do you have one?
I do.
Do please tell. Yoda. What was that? Do please tell.
Do please tell.
Tell us, please do.
Yes,
whatever.
I will. So in New York.
Oh.
Well, you had talked about New York pretty extensively, but this one particular thing, I don't think you said this, but I was ironing my shirt for the work part of our trip.
Okay.
Right? So I'd taken out the little ironing board that you have in the hotel room.
Right.
And you know what it is now, right?
No, go on.
So I did the whole ironing thing, was all done. And then instead of doing what I normally do, because you were staying in the room, because normally I would just leave it out so the iron can cool down, and then housekeeping or whatever will put it all away after I've left. But you're obviously with me on this trip, so I was putting it away. So you know how you hold the little lever down and then it slides the legs back up.
Yes.
Right? So
like a traditional ironing board.
It's like a regular ironing
surfboard with legs, and you hit the switch, and it all collapses.
And they drop, and then when you hold it again, and then you push them up. So I was doing it where I was holding the lever, and I was using the floor and the bottom leg to kind of push them in.
Yes.
And then inexplicably, I thought it had clicked, and it hadn't. And so I let the lever go, and the legs went right back out. And in the process of going right back out, the upper leg literally cut a glass that was on the end table in half. Like, the glass didn't even move. It like a
magician.
This is really 80s. Sorry, guys, but in I think it's the beginning of Karate Kid 2 where Pat Morita had the beer bottles are on his truck, and he goes hi-ya, and he just literally cuts the top off of the beer bottles. It was like that. Like, this ironing board just cut the top off this glass. I mean, there were little tiny bits everywhere on the floor, and so my awkward moment is that I karate chopped a glass
with an ironing board. You couldn't do it twice if you tried.
No, not at all. Or it would have knocked it over or done something like that, and it didn't do that. It literally just cut it right in half. It was so violent. It was like.
This isn't my awkward moment. Do you remember when we were drunk and heckling golfers, and the bottle of wine was sitting behind my chair?
Yes.
And I went to adjust my chair because the wind had blown so hard that I wasn't getting any fire pit heat.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I turned it, and the bottle knocked over, and you're all, the wine! The wine! And I was like, what? And you're like, no, it's right here. Look. He's like, oh, you drank so much that we didn't even have to worry about it spilling? No.
We had drank so much that it was literally laying on its side, rolling around on the patio, and still didn't spill.
You're like, here, want some more?
It was good.
Here's some more. Yeah, exactly. Okay, well, that's a good one. You broke glass in a fancy... It wasn't that fancy of a hotel room. It was nice, though.
It was Manhattan.
Really fun.
It was
nice.
Yeah. It wasn't a dive.
So mine obviously occurred on this most recent trip when we went to the fancy Ritz-Carlton hotel. They have a really, really nice restaurant.
Navio.
When you go to a hotel and they have a couple of restaurants in-house... It's still hotel food.
Sure.
You
Usually.
just, I mean, it is, they're catering to masses. So you're not going to get intricate, high-end, beautiful dishes normally. This is the exception.
Yeah.
The Ritz-Carlton does not do mass productions at this restaurant. It's very individualized. It was amazing. The food was delicious. I didn't like the fish thing, though. We ordered this thing called ahi noodle. What was
ribbons.
Ahi ribbons, where they cut ahi fish into ribbons, and then the inside of the bowl was painted with like a black garlic something.
Yep.
And you had to mix it all up. It literally looked like intestines. I hated it. I mean, it tasted super fresh, but aesthetically it was gross.
So and I
like it.
I had the cut looking different, by the way.
Yeah, I thought it would be more like squares.
They were like soft French fries instead of thin. Like, I thought ribbons thin, right? Like,
I didn't like it.
Yeah.
It just wasn't my thing.
Yeah, no, but everything else was.
But it tasted really good. I just had to close my eyes.
That's what she said.
God, that's
sorry, go ahead.
Drop. So, the awkward moment is we enter the hostess station or the whatever station where we tell them, it's like, oh, hello, welcome to whatever. And here we are. Susan was her name. And we're like, hi, Susan, we're here for our meal. She was very friendly and talkative, and we took some time standing there, and the only thing I could think was she was either trying to determine where we were going to sit, or the table wasn't necessarily quite ready, because we had pushed our reservation up a bit.
Well, they're back a bit. Oh, I know what it was. You were talking to her... I think she asked, had we been to another one? And we were talking about Marina Del Rey.
And I was telling her
just got the conversation
right,
going.
So we were chatting about how the service at
So she was being chatty
too.
A little bit too.
Well, because I, of course, started talking.
What?
And so there was, and so I said, yeah, we we stayed at the Marina Del Rey in Los Angeles one. So this isn't our first Ritz visit, but to this specific one it is. And I was going on about that and how the service kind of pales in comparison to what we've been enjoying here. And she said, wow, really? She goes, well, that's really too bad because, we work really hard to get to this level of hospitality, and it's too bad that it was lacking a bit. And I said, yeah. And then there's this lull. And of course, I can't let it go.
You cannot.
I can't just say...
Dead air's no bueno.
No. So what do? I look in her eyes. I'm like, Susan, we're not fancy people. And she went, oh, okay. And then I'm like, why? In my mind, I'm like, why do I talk? Like, why do I say things?
I don't.
Why is that necessary to tell her that we're not fancy people? What does that even mean, by the way? Who's fancy? And I'm like, should I have broken out in a jig or hill? I mean, should I have done something to prove how unfancy we are? What's that?
I don't
and you're
know.
just there and...
Well,
you weren't audible, but you just stand back and go, why? Why is this happening in my life?
No,
why do I have this?
If I'm audible, it just gets worse.
Yeah, because then I'll go, what? Oh, you're fancy? Then suddenly it becomes a thing. So you just shut up and you just go, well, this is what our life is.
In fact, I was imagining at that point.
Sorry, Susan, this is just what we do.
If Paula or any other UGG is there with us, that conversation is 3 times longer than it was.
Oh my God, are you kidding?
It just keeps piling on.
We
and
are
I just,
so...
That is one thing I have learned from marriage.
Just shut up and let it happen.
And watch the wonder.
Yeah, just let it go. Just let it all go because eventually they'll tire and they'll shut up eventually. But yes, and she's like, oh, okay. She's, well, I think your table's ready.
Right, exactly.
And I'm like, why do I talk? Why?
I don't know.
So anyway, that was my awkward moment. It was very awkward.
That was a good one. You created some stunned silence.
I think I'm going to win this one.
Of course you are.
Well, just because.
Yeah, no, you should win.
Just because.
Have I ever won?
No, you're not that awkward.
Yeah, well, not only that, I don't know that I'm...
You're not capable.
Yeah.
I don't think you have the gene. I mean...
No, but...
Your awkward moment came because you tried to use brute force to do something.
Technically, I can't win.
You're not an UGG.
Right. So I can actually...
You'd be a H-Uglee.
That's correct. I can only win a
So
H-Uglee.
you had a H-Uglee and awkward moment, and I had an ugly and awkward moment.
Correct.
Ooh, the merging of two little segments. The merging of segments.
Battle of the sexes.
So the one thing that we did, and we'll conclude with this specific topic, I discovered, is that we have a very tumultuous discussion about James Gunn. You and I.
The Guardians of the Galaxy.
We simply cannot come to an agreement on James Gunn.
Well, because it's a difference of opinion.
It's not what you think, though, people. We both love James Gunn. We wish he hadn't been fired, but...
Yeah, so on that, we agree.
Yes. Yeah. However, I believe that the powers that own those franchises, Marvel, Disney, whatever, would not have made billions and billions of dollars without James Gunn. I think James Gunn is responsible for the success of those films. You don't agree with me.
I'm not saying he's not part of the success, of course. Mm-hmm. But... he did not come up with the idea for Guardians. He did not write the script for Guardians.
Are you
didn't
sure?
Create. Well, he made it. Well, you can't write the. You may be a screenplay, but it's a comic book movie.
Right.
It is based on things that somebody else wrote that happened. That he happens to be a gifted director, and he turned it into a great movie.
Right.
But Guardians of the Galaxy absolutely makes money without James Gunn. Lots of money. Lots of money.
I just think that we're going to find out because there's going to be a third one that he is not directing. So we will see the diff.
Well, we're going to see the diff now because people like you and myself are pissed that he got fired.
People like
There's going to be backlash now. It's going to be name me a director that wants to fucking step into that spot right now.
Well, I mean, they let Ron Howard do stuff, so maybe he's benign enough. Everybody loves Ron Howard.
But the circumstances for that director leaving was your movie sucks. I'm going to bring in somebody better, right?
Well,
this is not that. This is because of tweet deletion or lack of.
This is what's hilarious, you guys. So we were having this heated discussion at our anniversary dinner in this fancy restaurant. And
was it in the restaurant?
Yes. And Daryl is so frustrated with me because I just can't see his point of view as clearly as he wants me to. He literally threw his napkin down. I mean, he was angry. money. And I said, man, we are such nerds. Like, we're actually arguing on our anniversary dinner about James Gunn's power of success over the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Did you tell Paula this?
Yes.
Oh, God. What did she say?
She had no words. She had no words.
Because she's like, oh, this is what you guys fight about. This is what you
argue about? I said, well, we don't fight about money because I refuse to.
Right.
We don't fight about child rearing because luckily on the same page.
Right.
For the most part.
Sure.
So it's like, well, then we have nothing to argue about other than this and Daryl's lack of attention skills. This is it. This is why we've been married for 21 years.
And the pet peeve I have on you.
Which they better not be bad because if they're embarrassing or something, I'm going to punch you in the mouth.
They're not embarrassing.
Well, what is it? Is it my lack of spending money?
No, although that is a good one.
You don't like it that I don't spend money.
You do spend money.
Oh, you don't like it that I do spend money?
No. You don't spend money on yourself.
Well, I'm a mother.
Yes.
Mothers are martyrs.
And mothers need clothes.
I know.
Jesus.
I know. That's the pet peeve?
That is one, but I hadn't thought of that one.
Is it because I refuse to enjoy golf?
No.
Or fish? Or go camping? Because I won't do any of those things.
You really want to know?
Yes. Am I going to be embarrassed?
No, I don't think I'll be embarrassed.
What is it?
It's when you yell at me like I'm 6.
Then don't act like you're 6.
I knew you were going to say that.
Don't like it.
This is why I didn't want to bring it up.
When do I yell at you like you're 6? All the time?
Not all the time. Yeah.
Oh, was that your stomach?
It was my stomach. Did you hear it?
I did. All right, fine.
Feed me, mama.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, I think that's the show. Please, and to thank you, shopping at lipandclip.com. It is officially Lipstick Day. Yeah. I don't know what that means.
National Lipstick Day. Mac is giving away free stuff.
Yeah, all I can think of is dogs' penises. I can't think of anything else when they say lipstick because, you know, when dogs have their heart on, they look like little lipsticks.
What is wrong with you?
That's all I can think of. And then someone
It's National Dog Penis Day also.
No. Lipstick Day. Everybody says that about dogs' penises.
Yeah, but nobody thinks about dogs' penises first on National Lipstick Day.
I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. I'm a different human. I'm a different person.
Word.
Thank you for listening. Shop at lipandclip.com. And Paula will be back for the Wednesday show because
she didn't delete that file.
She didn't delete that file, and we actually pre-recorded that. Although it didn't go perfectly. I gotta tell you, it didn't end well. So there you go. There's your prequel. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening and sharing the show. See you next time on The Ugly Truth.